Hail to the king, baby.
Hey guys, what's going on? It's Michael B, and welcome back to another episode of Chill and Chat with Michael B. It's Monday, you know what that means. We're going to be talking about home arcade, retro gaming, and all that fun stuff going on in the community. I'm going to be honest with you guys, it's a little bit of a light news week. A lot of the stories have kind of wrapped up right now. So I wanted to do something a little bit different tonight and kind of go back to either last week or the week before and talk a little bit about the iconic arcade rumors that came up, because it really sparked an interesting thing with me. It talked about how they are using a more powerful chipset. They can, in fact, do more powerful games. And like we've seen with Arcade OneUp in the last little while before they really, shit the bed and kind of fell apart there for a while, they were really pushing that old chipset they had to the max to bring us new games, but with some negative consequences. Not all those games are emulated well, or you need special things to make sure they're emulated, and then certain things fell apart, and it kind of fell apart for the company. I didn't know if it was because the games weren't done well, or maybe there wasn't as much interest in modern games. So I wanted to talk to you guys about it tonight. With the ability to do more advanced games, is it more important for companies to focus on doing those late 90s to 2000s, more high end graphical hardware pushing games, or what we've been missing, really more of the classics and more of the classics done well? That's kind of what I wanted to look at tonight. We do have a little bit of news to go over, which I'll start out with. But before we do much of anything, I want to say hello to the people here in the chat, guys. Thank you so much for being here. 1 second, I get a sip of coffee here now. A cup of coffee. So anyways, let me go right up to the top, make sure I got everybody. First up in the chat tonight was John Fritz. We are old. We want the 80s. I hear you, John. The golden age of arcades. I agree. JJ says Gen Xers love 80s arcades. So much nostalgia and innovation in the early days. 100%. Like, for me, it was the golden age of the artwork on the arcades, because the games were so limited with what sprites you could see on the screen. They really had to tell the story through the artwork on the side of the cabinet to get you invested in the game. So it's just, for me, that's more of a special time, even though that's outside of my nostalgia bracket, believe it or not. I never went into the arcades till later in the 80s, early 90s. We got Prince Vinny here. We are sold. We want the classics, maybe some early 90s, but not mid at all. Hardware gets too powerful at mid 90s. Will make those cabs too expensive to buy. That's a possible. Jason S says classic video games all day, every day, with the modern technology of co-op online play. I love that option. We got our buddy Jason Little Alien here in the chat, moderating things. Jason, the pro golfer from this weekend's Pixel Putt tournament. Way to go, Jason, on your successes. I haven't seen how the tournament ends yet. No one will tell me. So I don't know who won. Last time I saw my family taking out somebody. That's the last thing I saw. Dan in St. Louis is here. Always good to see you, Dan. Who else we got? MG Graphics. What's the point in living in the past? Luddites suck. I got a lot to unpack there, MG. Thank you very much for being here. Sir Sega says 80s all the way for my home arcade. In my opinion, 80s cabs are better. They're more unique, one-off cabinet designs and artwork. A lot of great 90s games were conversion kits in random cabs. Couldn't agree with you more. You look at Capcom, for example, like with most Capcom cabs, you're better off doing what we kind of thought Iconic was going to do, which is just like a Capcom fighter multi-cade, because they all came in the same friggin' cabinet, right? Porter Dream says, good evening, everyone. I'm on hiatus from playing music to 3 people on TikTok, so I'm back, baby. He's back. Welcome back, brother. I am Rappy. I want all 3, but would buy both of Iconic's Double Dragons cab if they made them a new or non-existent arcade for the collection. Only lets it expand the hobby forever. That's a good point. Not necessarily something I'd be interested in, but certainly can appreciate where you're coming from. Josh McKinley, both sides of the same coin. Graphics don't make a good game, but if you don't invest in upgrading software occasionally, you will be limited to what you can release. Yes, it's 100% accurate. Arcade OneUp fell into that. They ran into massive issues with trying to get games working on their shit. We've also got Bill's Retro Gaming Show. Good to see you. Meatball Saucy, let's do this. Good to see you, Meatball. J-Rod, Nova Sonic, it's Michael B. It's Michael M. Calvin Wong's here. The real Zim, not the fake Zim. Get in there, Zim. Nice to see you. Brian G. Stock Jock, this intro is not half bad. At least there's no AI rap crap. You can stay off my lawn tonight. Stay on my lawn tonight. Well, thank you very much, Stock Jock. MSU Rich is here. Prince Vinny. Who else we got? Gramps Arcade. Good to see you, my man. JJ, Vectrix, He-Man game, new light gun games, hardware. I wouldn't say that it's a slow week. I think some of those new light gun stuff, that was last week. He-Man was kind of last week, too. Vectrix is new news. That is pretty exciting. You got to remember 19K Fox does last week or this week, but it's really last week, right? JJ McQuaid, if they're making Defender again, please include Gorf and Sinister. I'd like to see that, but more than anything, I want to see the original controls on their proper controls on a Defender cab more than anything else. Mark James is here. Good to see you, Mark. Skyhook, Chit for Brains, Spider-Man 2021. Got to make sure I get all the comments here. I don't want to miss anybody. Maurice McCorkle. Maurice is in the house. Who else we got? Bonos, Tecmos here. Cornercade. Wow, way to take an interest in the tournament, you Muppet. I did take an interest in the tournament, but I didn't play. I've been trying to follow along on YouTube, but they're like posted videos. I don't even know if the finals is out yet. You jerk. James Hates Everything's here. Good to see you, James, as always. Ritual Dello, a.k.a. Rotundo. Good to see you, my man. Stock Jock gifted 10 Michael B. the Game Genie memberships. Thank you very much, Stock Jock. I know it's because I put Robotron in my thumbnail. You don't have to tell me. I know it's 100% true. Mike's one cup is the super goal. Yeah. 19K Fox, who inspired this whole cup thing. Let me explain this to you guys. So we'll get into this here now in a second, because I see PD7 with a super chat here. It's Steve Sales' birthday. Thank you very much for the $4.99 super chat. PD7, Phil, it's a pleasure to see you, my man. I can't believe anybody in the home arcade space will give you a hard time. Easily one of the nicest people in the community. If you haven't, and I know you already have because you've seen him walking around Best Buy, talking to Shaq, go check out PD7, everybody. Thank you very much, man. Gong, Wrong, Ryan, thank you very much, my man. MB, I think I can guess who gave you the topic for tonight's show, because I was talking to him about this 2 hours ago. No, I don't know who you're talking about. This is based off the information, Paul, that kind of came from you last week, but not the person you're talking to. I haven't talked to him. Video Game Vegas, good to see you, my man. I think I saw my buddy Kongza Russ here earlier, too. Mystery Encoders here. I love it. Goofy Foot, good to see you, my man. Get the foot out there. Who else we got here? I'm sure I saw Kongza Russ here a minute ago. Am I crazy? Am I losing it? There he is. What a waste of memberships. Nothing but burger porn pics. You have no idea, man. I would load that shit up 100%, Kongs. Who else? Is this a rehash of Super Game Room dudes? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. It's always a possibility. Jim the Pacers fan. Hey everybody. Good to see you, Jim. The bad guy. Good evening. Bad guy. Nice to see you, my man. Connell is here. We got our second super chat, $1.99 from the Cornercade. Homercade is back, baby. Thank you very much for the super chat, Cornercade. Israel Gaming's here, showing some love to Phil, PD7. That's what I like to see, man. And Brooklyn Menace is here as well. Excellent addition to Open Fridge. Good to see you, my man. Power Rangers and Claw Machines. Oh my. Yeah, that was all last week. Holy crap. I know, right? What a long intro. Got to make sure to say hello to everybody here in the chat. I just can't let them all go. So anyways, guys, a little bit of news this week that I did want to share with you guys. So let me just pull up a window for you and show you guys what I got going on. So, of course, the first thing to mention is the Terminator 2 Deluxe is real. It's now out through arcade1updirect.com. In the US, it's available on amazon.com and also through walmart.com. I got a guy that messages me all the time. I don't actually know if Michael Lee watches, but his name is Michael Lee. He's been messaging me nonstop ever since, the story came out about Terminator 2, wondering what Arcade 1UP's doing, why they haven't released official information out there yet. He says he's going to pull the trigger on this. I'd love to know how many people in the chat are interested in the new T2 Slim Katie. Call it what it is. It's only 18.4 inches. The original, in my opinion, is a far superior cab, but if you can't get your hands on the original, at least this one's available, right? He's got lots of ramen. I'm not too concerned. Right? My bad guy, I was shocked. Of all the ones, I expected them to see them come back and do in a deluxe format. I did not have Terminator 2 on my bingo card, but like I said, it does make sense. Right? It's a rarity. So if you guys are wondering about the super chats, I do have a goal set up. This is based on 19K Fox, who is quite the YouTube entrepreneur. So he set up this thing about having a super chat goal. Now, for people that are going to shit on this, if you have a problem with super chat goals, talk to YouTube. It's a program they instituted to try to get more engagement on super chats. If we use it or not, it's just the programming that's given to us. But again, you can still complain. It's like we can do 47 ads every 2 minutes and you guys are going to complain about that. So no big deal. But if you do have a problem with it, tell YouTube you don't like it. Maybe they'll remove the feature. Anyways, I am kind of copying off 19K Fox a little bit. I've got an option up there in the super chat goals. So far, I've got 2 of 10. It really doesn't matter. It's any denomination. I think it is $2 or above. Any super chats I get, if we make it to 10 super chats, we're going to do a second cup of coffee instead of a second pour. Second cup, which is also a play on the Second Cup franchise, coffee franchise here in Canada. So we'll do a second cup, and then we're going to do Buy and Pass 2025. We can talk about all the products that are out or coming out in 2025 and whether I think you should buy or pass on them. So that's the second cup bonus. If I get the super chat goal, if I don't, no big deal, guys. It's just something fun that's going along with what they got there. But anything to help the show is greatly appreciated. And there we go. 10 channel memberships from our buddy B Kirby. So congratulations to all the new members. And thank you very much, B Kirby, for your generosity. You are an awesome dude, man. Always a stand-up guy, helping out everybody on YouTube. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, MG, that's the goal. I've already made the promise to my daughter, so me and my wife are working on it now. We got some cigarettes to get through. We're in the process of slowing down till we get to a more slower level, which should be in the next week, 2 weeks, and then we're going to go back on the patches. So that's the plan. So anyways, guys, T2 came out. I'll make it bigger so, P-Dubs doesn't lose his mind. So Terminator 2, that was a little bit of news. You guys can decide whether or not you like it. It's already 1,000 videos, so I don't want to go into that too much. But in more exciting news in the home arcade community, very quick question. Did you finish the Claw Machine Friday night? Michael B. the Game Genie. That's an excellent question, JJ. We'll come back to it right after we talk about Glenn. So just give me a quick minute here. Love you too, MG. So anyways, Buildicade FU closed up the other night. I'm sure most of you were watching the closing ceremonies on Glenn's channel, which strangely enough, YouTube took down. But yet there's other videos out there that are just straight attacking people using horrible language. They stay up, but Glenn's video got taken down. It's weird to me. I don't understand YouTube, how it works. But anyways, Glenn not only did excellent on his Kickstarter, he absolutely smashed his goal. 280 backers with $318,000 earned. I hope that's US, not Canadian, but over $500,000 Glenn sold on this. A lot of happy people are going to be out there getting Buildicade FUs. Congratulations to Glenn. Of course, it wasn't available here in Canada. I couldn't pre-order it. But I'm so happy for Glenn, so happy for the community. You guys got an excellent product coming your way. Yeah, Glenn said it was because of a Terminator image. What a weird fucking place, man, where you can get your video taken down for a Terminator image, but there's people out there just using actual hate speech and their videos stay up. What a world we live in, right? I figured, Glenn should be able to maybe sell 200 of these, like the IRK Gold. I thought that was the kind of audience it had. This blew me away. 280 backers, $500,000 US. Congratulations to Glenn. Certainly showed that there was an interest in multicades and specifically ones with really good controls, really good features. Congratulations, Glenn. Apparently, Glenn, as an AI Terminator holding a shotgun, was too much for YouTube. It was too much awesome. That's why it shut it down. The money is how it works. Don't want to get sued for rights infringement, but don't give a rip about who gets insulted or cursed out or whatever. There you go. So anyways, guys, a lot of people ask me, did I get the claw machine built for Miss Scarlet? I've got some video of when we went to pick it up that might be interesting to you, but I figure what's more interesting is actually getting to see the I have your old DD Gold, just to let you know, has made it to, I don't think this message is for me, unless you mean my old Dead Cells Gold. That would be very interesting. So anyways, let me just pull this up for you guys. That's what she said. So if you guys don't follow me on social media or didn't see, we did get the claw built on Friday, not on Friday night. There's no way. It was 19K Foxes. There you go. I did not know that. That's a fun fact, Goofyfoot. Now it's got me absolutely creeped out too. But didn't get it done Friday night. Unfortunately, it took me all day Saturday. We got it done late Saturday night. The thing was, this is actually in our playroom. So I was fighting a losing battle against my daughter and son to clean up the toys. So I actually had clear room to build the cabinet on. I cleaned up the room 3 times before I even got to start the cabinet. So finally got it built late Saturday night. I stayed up till 1 a.m. cleaning up the floor, getting it ready. And I was like, I'm just too tired. 1 a.m. Friday night after Super Game Room, dude. So I went to bed, woke up the next morning, and my son was already downstairs, had the room destroyed, every single toy pulled out of buckets all over the floor. There we go. If you quit smoking, they won't stop you at the US-Canadian border. Well, that's good to know. Really do. It's really impacting my show. It's really frustrating. So anyways, we finally got it built, but what's even more exciting than that is I got some footage of her playing it, and she absolutely loves this. Check this out. Oh, nope. Hold on, guys. It got screwed up. Hold on. Hold on. Got screwed up. Let me show you guys again. Still trying to get used to my new screen setup here. So let me bring this up again and just show you guys. There she is. She was having a blast. Like she was getting used to whether or not she wanted to put the balls in there or just some of her stuffies. She found the balls hard at first. I set it to fun mode, which is the really super easy. And her and Tommy have just been loving it. She's having a blast. Kids haven't stopped playing it. I've got a lot of really weird comments, like angry comments. Like I guess there's a lot of people that just hate fun or hate arcade one up one way or another. And everybody keeps saying, oh, whatever, it'll be back in the closet next week. It loses its fun factor. I hope that doesn't happen, but so far so good. Kids are loving it. It's actually really, really well built, surprisingly good quality. For those of you saying, is it tall enough for an adult? Absolutely not. 9, 10-year-old kid, perfect. Adult, no, you're going to have massive back problems bending over to use those controls, but it's fun as hell. So there you go. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. Yeah, totally right, Paul. Like, honestly, I gotta give Arcade One Up a lot of credit. I was very worried with the claw, how hard it was gonna be to put together, but it's really well built. It's still MDF, but it feels really good, really solid, really easy to put together. The claw works fantastically. I'm really happy with it, man. Yeah, 100%. I will tell you, my daughter, what she said for me, first night we had it, she was playing, she was super excited. She turned and she said, Dad, now that we have this, we don't even need to go to the arcade. And that brought like a big smile to my face. This is a ridiculous purchase. With tax, came to $800 Canadian. Did I need to spend that kind of money? Absolutely not. Is it worth it to see my kids happy? I would spend every cent I had to make them happy. So yeah, 100%. I mean, there's no inheritance coming. MG, you're so in the past. Nobody has inheritance anymore. Now we inherit our parents' debt. That's how it works nowadays. So, anyways, guys, that's that. I'll take that down for a second because there is a couple other things I wanted to share with you guys. Another thing for people that have been enjoying the X Arcade, especially with Pinball FX VR. One of the things we talked about, it's a little disjointed because there are no haptics, there's no plunger, yada, yada, yada. We, of course, knew about the X Force haptics kit that was going to be coming out as an add on for your X Arcade, 2TV, XR, whatever it is, VR. And so we were all pretty excited about it, but we all had speculation on how much it was going to cost. Finally, they released the price. It looks like it's going to only be $150 for the add-on. I was worried they were going to jack up the price and try to sell it for about $500. So haptics kit is $150. In my opinion, that's pretty reasonably priced. So it's not quite available to order. It went up early. It says sold out, but it never even went up to order yet. So now we know the price at least. So if you're interested in Pinball FX VR or even trying to play virtual pinball in VR, with your X Arcade kit, you can pick up this excellent haptics kit. Well, I say excellent, I haven't even tried it yet, but it should improve the overall playing experience. Pinball FX VR already is probably one of the best ways outside of playing a real pinball machine to play pinball. This is just going to make that experience so much better. Console kit says day one purchase. I agree with them. Of course, I'll reach out and see if they'll send me a review unit. Even if they don't, this is something I'm going to pick up anyways. The only shitty thing is with X Arcade, it's really expensive to get their products here in Canada when it comes to the tax and duty part. I mean, I got to review X Arcade that you see here behind me. I still ended up spending well over $300 in tax and duty on this thing, which doesn't even make sense, but that's how much I had to pay. So we will see. I'll try, JJ. I'll reach out to them, but even if they don't send it to me, this is something I'm going to shell out and buy for anyways. Looks more expensive than Game's $350 kit. Maybe. Look at the guys making fun of the way I say duty. Atul, good to see you, my man. I'm very excited. Atul's one of my favorite people in the community. Whenever we've traveled, Atul has been there, part of the experience. And I always see him when I go to Canada, too, other parts of Canada, especially Ontario. I am going to Canada middle of September. Going to Canada. I'm going to Calgary middle of September. Later part of that trip, I'm going to stop in Toronto. I'm going to see AEW All Out Wrestling, and Atul's coming along with me. So very excited. Me, Nostalgia, Atul, and Conti, we're all going to go see AEW All Out at the Scotiabank Arena. So very much looking forward to that, because it doesn't look like there's going to be any other trip for me in 2026. So bit of a bummer, but looking forward to hanging out with you again, Atul. Maybe we'll check out Antisocial Pinball Bar. Have a lot of fun in Canada, so it'll be good. Tron is a one-trick pony. You're a one-trick pony. Atul went from being the biggest arcade one-off fan in the world to the biggest hater. Like, it's amazing. So anyways, that, and I did find something else really, really funny here. I almost made a video about this yesterday. I was in my buddy James's private Discord, and James shared this as well as he actually shared this piece of information. And I was ready to jump on the internet, make a video. I was like, X Arcade's doing a haptic skit, but you're not going to believe what else they're doing. They're making a Nintendo cab. But apparently, this is actually, excuse me, had barbecue for supper. Sorry about burping in the mic. Disgusting. Sorry. Anyways, this is actually an old product that's been out for years, and this one really is out of stock, but I didn't even know X Arcade had made this. This is something I definitely would have been interested in. Did anybody else know X Arcade made a faux Nintendo style cabinet called Lumberjacks? I had no idea. It would have been so awesome to get this, modify it into a Donkey Kong cab, into a Popeye cab, so many cool options. Had no idea this was even a thing. Even though it was a thing, it was really super expensive. From what I understand, this is back in the days of us buying like $400 arcade one-ups. They were selling this $2,000 faux Nintendo cabinet, so who knew? Stock Jock, it's time to ramp up these super chat. Mike needs a second cup of coffee for sure. Jeez, yeah, you're not telling me. Thank you so much for the super chat, Stock Jock. I think we're at, on our goal, we're at 3 now. Let's double check. Yeah, we're at 3 of 10, so that'll be the second cup, and we'll play Buy and Pass, talking about the products coming out this year, have already come out, or are coming out, and if they're a buy or pass. Again, no worries if we don't get it, guys. It's not a big deal, but thank you so much, Stock Jock. I might actually just need the cup of coffee to survive this. Holy crap. I actually cut back my smoking and everything today, and it's still happening. Where's this comment? Makes Joel's cab even more attractive. I agree. And I heard some rumors that some of Joel's cabs actually have gone out, and we should see them relatively soon. B Kirby throwing out a $5 super chat with the, what is this sign? I remember it's Shakambra from Kona Crush, but I don't know what it is. Shaka? I don't know. But anyways, thank you so much, B Kirby. We're at 4. Good to see you. Glenn, my buddy, the guy who was terminated from YouTube. We just talked about you a couple of minutes ago, talking about how awesome it is. $500,000 plus. Congratulations, Glenn. We're all so happy for your success. Seeing that just brings a tear to my eye. Very happy for you. Happy for the people in the community that are going to get to experience your Build-A-Cade FU. Really good job. Can't wait to see these finally come out. And hopefully there's some additional runs in the future. You can get enough orders. Like I think Glenn said, maybe 50. There'd be a possibility he could do another run. So maybe there'll be some runs in the 50. He said he was terminated, but he'll be back. Hopefully the Build-A-Cade FU will be back in the future as well. Yeah, Glenn, I think everybody's really super happy for you too. Shaka, bro. Yeah. Anybody remember Kona Crush when Crush from Demolition came back as the Hawaiian guy? You got the Crusher fatality. I saw the best meme in the entire world there the other day. So some personal information. We here in Newfoundland are getting our first ever Taco Bell just minutes from my house. Like, it's actually going in the city that I live in, like literally 3 minutes from my house. And I've dreamed about Taco Bell all my life. 15 years ago, almost 20 years ago, actually, I set up like one of those pages, like, try to gain interest. Newfoundland needs a Taco Bell. After 20 years, we're finally getting it. I can't wait. And the meme I saw the other day is, if Taco Bell gives you diarrhea, it means that you have inferior genes and you're not strong enough to actually eat the delicious food that is Taco Bell, something along those lines. I can't wait. Like, I'm definitely going to die, but I can't wait for Taco Bell to get here. Like, it's just so exciting. I know, Shaka Bra, there it is. That's what I thought. So I am Rappy. I do not disagree with you. We had a fake Taco Bell here when we got our new movie theaters for the first time. We had it was almost like a Taco Bell Express, but it wasn't the regular menu items. And like the beef was like right out of a Colgate tube. Like, it was disgusting. So hopefully, I've had some Canadian Taco Bell in other places and it's been really good. So hopefully it's as good as that. I can't wait. Hey, Jeremy, stop killing my dreams here. I know it's shit food, but we look forward to it. Also, Biggie D, I want to apologize. Unfortunately, we had a little bit of a tiff there a little while ago. And anyways, I decided that, you guys know how I am. Like, if I get mad at anybody, I'm not going to fight back. I'm not going to talk about them on YouTube. I'll just cut off communication with them. So I actually hid Biggie D from my channel, and then we worked everything else out, and that was fine. I went to add him back, and I cannot find him under my hidden users. Like, I have searched that thing for well over an hour. I can't find his original account to unhide it. I'm still working on it, so I apologize. I haven't done it yet. And if anybody can help me on how to search through my hidden users, it would be greatly appreciated. I know, that's the crazy thing. I've been seeing memes all over the place showing like 1980 Taco Bell, like, 4 tacos for $2 or 4 tacos for $1. Now it's like $8.89 a taco. So thank you, Jason. Greatly appreciated. Mike still holds a grudge, confirmed. Oh yeah, it's bad. Like, I can't. I was looking for people, even specific people I knew I hid, and I couldn't find them. I was like, what the hell is going on? So I don't know what's going on here. So anyways, guys, that's most of the news I wanted to talk about tonight. And now I want to get to the main topic. And Paul brought it up. He said that he was talking to the person that would have gave me this idea. He's actually wrong, but he might be right, because this idea actually originally came from Paul. And a lot of the information that Paul was bringing to our attention about Iconic Arcade. And one of the rumors out there that kind of caught me off guard, and I kind of disagreed with it, was it's strong enough to do Star Wars trilogy, so it's only a matter of time if it's coming. Now, I kind of shit on that idea, shit all over it, because while I do think that obviously Lenovo has the money to do it, obviously, you can have whatever feelings you want to have about John D, but he does have an acumen for getting licensed. I have no doubt that he could go get it. I just worry about, would the juice be worth the squeeze for the company? Because obviously this is not Arcade OneUp. These aren't mass selling to distributors. Their own approach, which they have told us, is they're trying to bring a more community-centric product. So I don't know if they'd be able to do enough numbers to justify the ROI on going to get the Star Wars license for something like Trilogy. That's the point I put out there. Can they do it? Absolutely. But one of my concerns with John is when John was at Arcade OneUp, and through some of the conversations that I've had with John, it seems that John has a very different mindset maybe than I do. For me, even though it's outside my age range and outside what should be my nostalgia, my love for these arcades is all based on the golden age of arcades. Like, I want stuff from the 70s right up until about 94, 95. That's what I look for in arcades. I don't know why it is. I think that's just the most interesting time. I love the games from that period. I especially love like the cabinet, the way they look, the artwork. That's what I'm super focused on. But I'm not oblivious to the fact that there are people out there who do want more modern cabinets and do want more modern games, more powerful stuff. I keep making the joke over and over again. Tekken XL is coming, or Tekken XXL. And that's a really good example of a more modern game that I think people really do want. I don't want it, but I understand why other people do. Then you got like Paul, for example, who's here in the chat. He took one of his XL cabs, his NBA Jam XL, and made a Soul Calibur XL cabinet out of it. So that's something that won't run on Arcade OneUp's current, very weak, outdated chipset, but absolutely would run on John's new hardware. So that's an example for it. So what it kind of got me thinking of is what's most important for these home arcade companies going forward. Is it that idea of we need to bring the newest games that push the hardware? That's what we need to focus on? Or should the focus just be on the golden age? Or should they do a combination of both? Or does it not really matter? And we just want to see new releases that haven't come out already. That's kind of the question I'm asking here. You have no business commenting on hardware you don't even mod. You're not the first person to tell me I don't have any business in this community because I don't mod, Mystery Encoder. I tell you that. You're not the first person to say that. P-Dubs Arcade Loft. Also want to throw a huge shout out to P-Dubs despite being injured. P-Dubs did something really super fun over the weekend. He hosted the Pixel Putt Golf Tournament, and even though I wasn't participating, I did watch along some of the live coverage. I've been trying to catch up with the recorded premieres he's been doing, and I just thought the coverage was actually excellent. I know Brooklyn Menace helped him out a little bit. Brooklyn did a good job, but I thought P-Dub's job was excellent. Like, I thought like I was watching high-end esports kind of commentating, playing. He did a really good job. Everybody give P-Dubs a round of applause. I know it didn't get a ton of views, and maybe that's because not everybody is as close with the people like we play golf with. Maybe they didn't recognize it as much, but I thought it was an excellent attempt, and I know it didn't do the numbers P-Dubs was probably hoping for. It was a ton of work, but I'd love to see it happen again. I thought it was great. It was like watching Happy Gilmore too. Oh my God. Phoenix needs the rain. Oh man, we finally got the rain here last week. I can tell you our humidity dipped off 1000% earlier tonight. After I finished barbecuing supper for the family, getting a couple things cleaned up, I decided to unwind by going to take a jump in the pool. Big mistake. Newfoundlanders do not need a pool this late in August. It was the coldest dip of my entire life. Do not recommend swimming in Newfoundland right now at this current time. So anyways, back to the topic, guys. I actually have a poll up in the chat. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it's got 118 votes. What's more important to you? Classic 80s, 90s arcade, more powerful late 90s arcades? I want both or neither, just new games. And I'm surprised and I appreciate it. What's leading the vote right now is classic 80s, 90s arcades. Thank you so much, guys. I didn't think it would go this way. Even when I was making the thumbnail, I could see like the stuff I was putting on the late 90s side, the more powerful side, stuff like Daytona, Star Wars Trilogy, House of the Dead. And I was like thinking to myself, I was like, I'm going to get fucking slaughtered here. These guys are going to see these games and be like, no, duh, we want them. So surprise, guys. You proved me wrong. That's friggin' awesome. So right now, classic 80s, 90s arcades, the golden age, as I call it, are winning. I want both is in second at 37%, which honestly I think is the right answer. I think there's room for both. More powerful late 90s arcades is in third place with only 13%. So there you go. In my era, this means hang loose. Thank you so much for the super chat, B Kirby. Greatly appreciated. I really love it, man. You didn't have to do that. You've already done so much already this show. Thank you very much. Hang loose, brother. I don't know if he does. I think he does, and then I don't know if he does. You know what I mean? We got another super chat here from Jason Little Alien, the moderator with the most. Thank you so much, man. Thwip Bullseye. We're getting up there now. Thank you very much, brother. We can get Centipede, Pac-Man, etc. from anyone, though, and have. We haven't had late 90s yet. I want that mix. I'm fine with a mix. I just don't think it's a priority, Paul. But I will say this, like, Arcade OneUp, in my opinion, and I don't know if it's on the retailer side or if it's on somebody else's side. I don't know if this had to do with John D or if this has to do with the brain trust at Arcade OneUp, but it seems like they didn't have a lot of confidence in classic 80s games unless it was Pac-Man, unless it was Galaga. I mean, we know, late 80s. And when I say late 80s, I mean those early 80s golden era games. We know that, they're going to do an Atari, maybe Centipede. They did a Tempest. They did an Asteroids. They did a horrendous Atari 50th cab. Sorry if you guys like it. But they did that stuff. But outside of that, it didn't seem like they had a lot of confidence. Even with Defender, they did a Defender, but they did the Defender so friggin' poorly with the Mortal Kombat controls. The focus still was clearly on Mortal Kombat. So it really defeated the purpose of the cabinet. It was just a different skin. RGT85, Sean, my man, thank you so much for being here. Yes, WrestleFest is still coming out this year from Basic Fun. It's going to be their big release. If you want the 2-player Ultra Cab, no coin door, this is actually probably going to be right up your alley. This is closest to the original Arcade 1-Ups, just 2-player, $500. That's going to be available, Walmart, all those places. That should be here by Christmas time. But if you wanted the extra large one with the 19-inch screen, 4-player deck, more arcade accurate, that one's going to only be available in club stores. We think that one's going to be $5.99. So yes, 100% is coming out, Sean. Thanks so much for dropping in, brother. By the way, your story about going to dinner with your girlfriend's mom in the trailer was the best thing I read today. Thank you very much. Gotta hang out with B. Kirby. We need to get to 10. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat, Stock Jock. You are the man. Get off my lawn. You can stay on my lawn if you keep doing shit like that. Look at that. Saying hello to the good people in the chat, dude. Good stuff. All right, guys. So moving on. I did just want to focus on this a little bit more. So we'll talk about it. For me, those options are there to do more powerful games. The focus was on Star Wars Trilogy, which is a really interesting game because it has unique controls too, and it's Star Wars. But I don't think the focus needs to be on it. I've been making fun of Tekken XL for the last little while. I don't know if you guys know what a Tekken cab looks like. I think you remember playing Tekken either from the arcades or from the PlayStation. But do you guys remember what a Tekken cab looks like? Is this something you're familiar with? Let me just show you this. Give me 1 second here. So give me uno momento, guys. Ah, damn it. Hold on. Uno momento. It's not working well. That still didn't work. My God. So for those of you who have never seen the original Tekken cab, look at this hideous mess. It's a piece of shit. So this is a cab I keep saying is coming. And one of the reasons I keep laughing at it, I know this is one, I don't know if you guys remember Travis MCP. Travis MCP, when he was working with Arcade OneUp, one of the things he was pushing for more than anything, he loves Tekken and he wanted this cab to happen. But I mean, look at it. Does anybody really want this? I mean, on top of the horrendous fucking shape of the cabinet, look at the side art. Does anybody actually want this? Oh, Skyhook says that's not even the original artwork. I mean, that looks pretty original to me. No, it's not time for one mic, two cups yet, but man, that would be a good idea for a video. I 100% agree. It's beautiful. Looks like AI, but it is not AI. That's the sad thing, man. No, Tekken 2. Tekken 2 is much nicer. Tekken 3, I've seen Tekken 3's available. Paul, you can correct me on this. Is it available in 2 form factors? Because the only Tekken 3 I remember seeing was a pedestal. So it was like a pedestal out front, like your Gamer Pro, a little bit better shaped, and then a CRT on a stand in the background. So I'm not 100% sure. Yeah. Doesn't have to be the first. That's the version 2 artwork. All right, I'll see if I can find the version 1. I mean, it's got to be better than that, right? Let's see if I can find an original Tekken arcade. This is a Tekken 2. This is much better looking. So let me open this in new tab. This is a Tekken 2. Now, my concern is if it's arcade 1-up, we're probably not going to get Tekken 2 and 3. I think those will be maybe not powerful enough for arcade 1-up to do. Maybe on the Pi 5, it's something that can be done. So that's a Tekken 2 cab. So that looks much better. Obviously, I don't think the side artwork is great, but yeah, Pitbull remembers it was a pedestal for Tekken 3. So they can't do Tekken 3. There you go. Or they could, and it would look very stupid. So anyways, guys, the point of this, and I keep saying so anyways, the point of this is I wanted to talk about modern versus classic. Now, for me, you guys know what I want. I want the golden age. I think these companies, there's a lot left out there that nobody's done, or at least haven't done right. I know this is going to be one of those conversations that you guys are going to hate, but for me personally, I like more of the, quarter arcade and Replicade, the New Wave Toys Replicade model. They go back, they make these vintage arcades, they get the artwork right, they do such an exquisite package. And you know what? If there's only one, maybe 1, 2, or 3 games on the cabinet, that's enough for me. As long as the arcade is accurate, the control panels are accurate. That's kind of what I'm looking for. When you try to add too much, that's when you get into this jam where you get a Defender cab that has Mortal Kombat controls. So me personally, I'd like to avoid that. I want to see a real Defender. I want to see a real Defender with proper controls. I want to see a real tapper, not with 1,000 other games on it, so they got to fuck up the controls. I want to see a real tapper with the actual tapper control panel layout, the actual taps that you pull down to pour the beer. I want to get a Burger Time that only has one control panel, one control stick in the middle instead of 4 going across it like the original arcade 1-up had. That's what I want. I want as close to real arcade recreations as we can get. I want to see the classic 80s stuff, and I think there's a lot of room to grow there. And if you look at the interest for Iconic Arcade, the presumed second cabinet, which is Double Dragon, which is a cabinet we have not really got in the home arcade space, unless you count the iArcade that gave you stickers to stick onto it. Double Dragon has gained a ton of interest. I think we'll do huge numbers for them. That's more along the lines of what we want. And like Sean said, you look at another title like WrestleFest, which is a perfect example. It's a new title, one we haven't got before from the golden age of arcades. You wonder why so many people are excited about Basic Fun. It's not because the cabs are better or they have more powerful hardware. We all pretty much assume these cabs are going to be 1-for-1 arcade 1-up knockoffs. We don't think they're going to be anything different, but it's the possibility and the excitement of getting new titles from an era we love and appreciate. Thank you very much, B. Kirby. Another super chat. 100% agree. Classic 80s. Let's just check the tally really quick. Oh, we're pretty close, guys. I don't know if it's going to happen, but we'll see. No big deal if it doesn't. I got room to grow. I do too. Some people don't want it. Some people want, what Iconic is promising now. Like you look at that Capcom cab, they're going to have, an online library. We can download more games, and that's good enough for them. There's only so much room. I get it. But for the people that want to expand their library, people want to add more classic 80s arcades. Like for me, people are like, Tron's stupid. It's one and done. You just play Tron or Discitron and you're done. That's one of my absolute favorite arcades, for God's sakes. Stock Jock's here for it. Robotron. Like one of my big concerns with Robotron is I want it to be accurate. And I don't know if that's going to happen unless I buy something off the map, something like what G.I. Joel is doing with the right control panel, because you got to think about it. If Arcade OneUp ever did a Robotron or anybody else did, they're also going to throw Smash TV on there. They're also going to throw Total Carnage on there, and they require 2-player, which means 4 sticks going across. So, it's fine for a lot of people. For me, being off-centered, not awesome, but, I could take it as long as the cab is still accurate outside of that, because all those games make sense. That's a good combination of games on that cabinet. It's like going back to the original Arcade 1-ups, and you look at Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat had Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3. Perfect setup for that shit. Oh, here we go. $2 super chat from the Cornercade. Second pour unlocked. So I got to grab a cup of coffee and go at least a half hour longer tonight. I apologize for everybody who wants me to get off the internet already, but thank you very much, guys. Second pour unlocked. Not second pour, second cup, which is a real franchise in Canada, so it's a double entendre. That's why I found it so funny. There you go. Now you should really bad they're not getting lunch tomorrow. No, don't worry. He'll cook them brunch. 100% agree, JJ McQuaid. But I did want to be honest here. There is a little bit where I am a little bit of a hypocrite in this argument. While my main focus is on 80s arcades, and I don't want them to be overlooked for bringing out these new modern arcades that may have emulation issues, should run fine on a Pi 5, but other companies that don't really have the hardware for it, I don't know if they should be trying to push their shitty chipset to do it. No shoes for Danny's kids. Good job, Mike. They're going to go to school without book bags this year. OMG. Mystery Encoder says the Pi 5 is actually a crappy chipset. Wow. We'll see. I wonder what it can actually do. But there is a bit where I am hypocritical in this. As much as I love the golden age of arcades, there's also a piece of me for certain genres where the golden age of arcades isn't necessarily maybe what's most wanted or most loved. So if you look at the thumbnail, I was very specific with the games I picked, which is why I thought my love for the 80s, 90s golden age would kind of fall on this one, because I put such good games on the other side and very specific ones. Again, Star Wars Trilogy, it's not your straightforward arcade game. I mean, it has a very unique control set, so very happy for that. Tekken, who dared him to make the worst game ever? $2 super chat coming in for Stringer Films. Thank you very much, brother. You're going to upset a lot of people, man. People like Tekken for some reason. I don't get it. But they like it. Thank you very much, Stringer Films. Good to see you, my man. But again, I want to go back to the hypocritical point, because you look at shooting games, and while we've got some good shooting games, T2, which falls into that golden age, we also got Big Buck Hunter is more of a modern game, and also Time Crisis, again, that leads more into modern. I don't know if I want necessarily some of the 80s classic games. Like you look at the Exidy shooters, and it'd be a novelty. It'd be funny to have like Cheyenne, was Punyan one of them? I'm getting that one wrong probably, but like Chiller, shit like that. Those games are good and they definitely have their place, but even I am moving forward into the 90s with those. I don't want that shit. Like with gun games, there's very specific ones that should be the top of your list. I think Time Crisis was a hit. big buck hunter from the bar perspective. Terminator 2 was definitely in there. So far, Arcade 1UP's done a smart job with their gun games. But for me, that keeps leading into the future. Like, do Time Crisis 2. One of the ones that's definitely an outlier that I put right in the thumbnail, 100% needs to be made, House of the Dead. How we haven't seen a House of the Dead gun game yet is a mystery to me. It's a mystery to everybody. We all know why. Sega's expensive. The original arcade code was lost. But if I'm a new home arcade company starting up and I want to draw people's interest, as much as I'm going to push the classic games, as much as I'm going to push like for the 80s golden era, when it comes to shooters, if you want to do it, you want to get attention, you're going with the more powerful stuff. You're doing House of the Dead. You're going to get that title. And it's the same with racing, because we were talking about racing games and we were talking about Iconic Arcade. And, it came up in the chat. I know that John D and Arcade 1UP, before John D left, were really pushing for their next racer to be Super Outrun or to be, Super Sprint, which Buy Stuff eventually did, but they really wanted to do Super Outrun as their next racer. And I think there's a lot of nostalgia for Super Outrun. I think it's definitely something they could do, something they'd be interested in. But for me, again, with racing games, I also push forward into the future. Like for me, there's very specific games I want to see done in racers, one of which, of course, is Cruising USA. I don't know if that'll be possible because of the Nintendo hang-ups on that one, but you've also got San Francisco Rush, which I think is an absolute must. Then you've also got Daytona, which is, in my opinion, that should be number one on anybody's list. If you're going to do a racing cab, you should do Daytona or the Sega Rally series. So I just want another Fast and the Furious cab. No, I kind of forget that exists. It's not a bad game. I've never played it. From what I'm told, it's a spiritual successor to Cruisin', so it's supposed to be good. So there you go. But here's something that I have thrown around in the rumor mill for Iconic Arcade. That is Pole Position. And Pole Position, obviously, I love what I did with my arcade. I would be very interested in supporting a newer one, supporting Pole Position coming out. I know classic arcade enthusiasts love collecting Pole Position. You put Pole Position 2 on it. There's a lot of value there. So, yeah, I would support that one. But at the same time, I'm still jumping forward. Like, if I'm doing it, my whole real list for racers are obviously Cruisin', Rush, and then, in my opinion, the Holy Grail, the Sega Racers, Daytona, and the Rally series. You can also throw in their Hydro Thunder, all that stuff. I don't know why it is. I am 100% all for the 80s, except when you get into those specific types of games, shooters and racers. I jump forward in time. I want to see new stuff instead of old stuff with those genres. There you go. I said Super Off-Road or Super Sprint. I know the focus was on Super Off-Road, what they were going to do. That Jurassic Park shooter cab is actually not a gun cab. Like the original Jurassic Park, you actually have like a gear shift or a flight stick or something. I actually played through it when I went to Galloping Ghost last time with this firefighter. Yeah, 100%. Spy Hunter, Road Blasters, all before Daytona or Cruisin'. Oh, sacrilege, James. Absolute sacrilege. Sacrilege. But I don't 100% disagree with you. Those games are games that should be made 100%. I would love to see a Road Blasters come to one of these home arcade companies. Like, what would be really interesting, never be able to do it, but that Road Blasters cab, if I'm not mistaken, is in a very similar cab to Return of the Jedi. I don't know if you could do that with a yoke, but that'd be really interesting. What? You guys are crazy. Spy Hunter and Road Blasters, but I don't consider them racers. Yes, it has a wheel, but it's a different style of game. So there you go. Anyways, guys, we're just about at that moment for the second cup of coffee. So let's get started on that. I'm actually not even going to get a second cup. I'll just keep going because I don't want to put you on pause for a couple minutes there. I should have had my wife ready for the refill. I'll see if I can get her Hey, Paul, take it back. No replay value. You're crazy. No, she can't. She's just gone outside for a cigarette. That's not going to happen. So, anyways, guys, that's kind of my argument. I'll go back to the poll and looking at it here. I think it's great that a company like Iconic Arcade is working with more powerful chipset, more powerful hardware, so they can do more advanced games. I just would caution them that I don't think that should be a focus. If you are trying to work directly for the home arcade community, and I mean, I know it's a small sample. I don't know if you consider it to be a representative sample, but you can look at the comments from the people here. You can look at the data that's coming to you. And I would ask other people to run polls on this similar to give them more feedback, definitely more than they're just going to get from my show. But I certainly don't see a focus in the community on getting more advanced titles. I don't think there's that much of a demand for it. I think there's a demand for new titles, and that should be the big focus. I think that titles we haven't got before, or titles that have been put on another cab that haven't gotten the proper attention they deserve, to come to mind immediately would be, of course, Defender, which we've never got a proper Defender cab with proper controls, and Tapper. And just because I love Tapper, I think the cabinet's beautiful. Do a Tapper with just Tapper, root beer Tapper. I know people are going to hate this. And also Timber. It would look so good. It would be an absolute display piece in anybody's arcade collection. Hey, congratulations, Stringer Films. I am talking to my wife about it. We're going to try to do it too. Smoking sucks, man. I'm tired of it. Down with smoking. So congratulations, Stringer Films. Everybody in the chat, throw out a big congratulations to Stringer Films. He deserves it. Quitting smoking's hard. And believe me, he could smoke with the best of them. Trust me. We had a lot of fun in Chicago. So anyways, guys, that's the end of that topic. I want to move in now to the second cup. I'm going to close the poll on that. And you guys can discuss amongst yourselves. So we'll end the poll. I just want to look at the results really quickly once they come up. So we ended up with 44% of the people wanted the focus to be on classic 80s, 90s arcades. 37% ended up second. I want both. So that doesn't mean there's not a demand for new games. It's just people want a combination of both, which is what I think these companies, if they have the capability, should focus on. In terms of that being a focal point, only 13% wanted that, which is, a very, very big minority. And nobody said they didn't want games of either. So that's a positive. Oh, it's not coming up. Hold on. Let me find you, B. Kirby. I got to remember it's on the right screen. These companies need to cater more towards older Gen Xers. We're the ones with more disposable income. We older Gen Xers want classic 80s cabs. I don't disagree with you. I've made many videos on and many jokes on Arcade One-Up's at Arcade One-Up's expense, talking about how their marketing is so anti their core fan base. And I just don't get it sometimes. So I couldn't agree with you more. Thank you very much for the super chat, B. Kirby. Greatly appreciated, sir. Thank you very much. Hey, thanks, Israel. If anybody tuned into, and I know a lot of people didn't, I did a stream yesterday on a new game that was sent to me, and it's an NES-style action platformer called Crystal Gaiden Origins. Badass game, really good music, NES-style action platformer, but you probably recognize this shirt from that stream too. I'm a dirtbag today. I still haven't changed my shirt. Jumped in the pool instead of getting a shower. Paul says, I'm a 51-year-old Gen Xer, and I don't feel the need for more 80s titles at the expense of new 90s titles. Paul, I think you're in the minority on this one, buddy. I think that the focus should still be on the golden age. We still haven't seen enough of that. For you and what you want specifically, that's fair, but I don't know if you represent, especially in this chat, maybe, you could do a poll on Reddit or other people do polls, and maybe you guys will be the majority as opposed to what we said here tonight. I don't really know, but I just don't want the focus to be on that shit. That's why I'm doing it too. My wife said, I'm going to do it for the kids. I said, nope, baby, I'm doing it for Justin. Thank you for the $2 super chat, brother. MG 2000s all day. Get out of here, MG. So anyways, guys, I wanted to play a little game tonight called Buy or Pass, taking a look at some of the products that are coming out and kind of give you my opinion if I think it's a buy or a pass. Of course, I'm limited by all the stuff I already have, so I'm probably not going to replicate. And of course, what's available to me. So let's look at this stuff and just do a quick gaze through. So the first, I'll go back to my Twitter post here earlier, and I don't know if everybody has had the opportunity to buy this. I know some people are still looking on it, but the claw machine from Arcade One Up. Now I'm going to do a full review on this. Are you going to do an official review on this? And I'm definitely going to review it, but I don't know if it's an official review. Official review, like the official Arcade One Up global fan page. That seems more like a sponsored review. Be very clear on this. I bought this with my own money. I even, have video of me picking up from Walmart. There's nothing official about this. This is my own opinion based on the product I bought. Of course, my opinion is going to be slightly biased because of how much my kids like it. So, yeah, for me, I will give you an early preview of my review since you guys are here. I know this is an older product, but for those of you that are still considering it, I will say this is actually a much better quality product than it got credit for originally. People shit on it because of the claw's strength. They picked it apart, but at its core, this is a great fucking product. It's actually really good quality. All the parts are really super high quality. It's fun. Got great sounds, light shows. I mean, like the different colors that are included. Everything's really good. The only real downsides, of course, is of course the amount of stuff you can put in there. There's a little plastic barrier. Once you start going over that plastic barrier, that limits. So you see the big space there, but you can really only fill up about 30% of the canister with stuff before stuff starts spilling into the out lane. That's probably this way it is on most claw machines, anyways. So keep that in mind. The other thing is, it's really short. This is definitely built for kids. You can see Scarlett in the video. She's very comfortable. It's right around her waist level, but any normal sized adult, anybody that's over like, 5'5" is going to struggle to use this. So if you're buying it for your arcade because you're an adult, if you're buying it for ambience, it's a really good product. But I mean, if you're buying it to play it, you're going to find it really, really short and really uncomfortable to play. Amazing, amazing add to your arcade for family, especially kids to play. I don't know if it's for an adult. But Zero Redux brings up a good point. If you are an adult, you do love claw machines, you want to add this, G.I. Joel is G.I. Joel does make a riser. Oh, Paul, I love you, Paul. I think the claw machine is a 90s cabinet. All right, so obviously, let's talk Iconic Arcade. I haven't pre-ordered Iconic Arcade recently, but I will tell you that right now my mindset is when pre-orders open back up, I struggle this one going back and forth. I am going to buy Iconic Arcade, even though Fox and Nostalgia talked me out of it last time. When the pre-orders open back up, I'm going to go with the Street Fighter 2 World Warrior cabinet. I mean, that's the one I have the most nostalgia for. It sucks because I really, really like my Street Fighter 2 Deluxe cabinet, but really like what they're doing here. Even though I'm a little disappointed that the Pi, you won't just be able to add games. I'm sure there'll be some software way to do it. I'm sure there will be some hack or not hack that you can add games with. So I'm not too concerned about that. And the fact it's going to have a storefront like the iArcade to add additional games, that kind of cheers me up about it as well. I'm happy with the changes they made. I like the size of the cabinet. I'm an XL guy. We still need to find out about the art. Not important to some people, important to me. I'm hoping number 3 wins. The other thing that is going to matter on whether or not it's a buy or a pass for me is when pre-orders open back up, they're saying right now they can't guarantee the price. So if there's a massive price increase, like 100 or $200, that's going to have me second guessing whether or not I'm going to buy Iconic Arcade. The other ones on the shipping, obviously shipping to Canada absolutely fucking sucks. It's like $500. So if the Iconic Arcade isn't free shipping, that would also impact my purchasing decision. Street Fighter 2 XXL looks good in my opinion. Curious to see UI in motion and online play. UI is kind of important, especially on like a $900 machine. I know people are going to pick it apart. What do you care about UI? It matters. What was one of the biggest complaints with iArcade? It was the UI. Everybody hated the UI. So you're telling me now we can't complain about a UI? It's one of the biggest complaints about Act Games. They don't like the UI. That's why Act Games actively changed their UI and fixed it. So you can't tell me we can't say the UI doesn't look good. It doesn't equate when it's been a known problem in the arcade community for years. See, Mason knows we love a good UI. Mason, this is behind the scenes, and I don't know if you can tell this. You guys might know Mason from being around the home arcade community. Mason went to Chicago with us for the Pinball Expo. Awesome guy. Also, if you're a content creator looking for help with, banners, YouTube thumbnails, even video editing and stuff like that, and if you're a company looking for help with your company making vignettes, featurettes, and stuff like that, Mason's your guy. He just did one with Retro Ralph for Jersey Jack, Harry Potter. Absolutely marvelous job. Good job, Mason. Mason actually previously tried to help Back Games with the UI, offered to help iArcade as well. They didn't take him up on it, and they should have, 100%. You you sent forever. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, it's not a bad UI. It just looks like shit. You're not wrong. Yeah, Paul, you're not wrong about that. There were so many other issues that people were like, what do you mean the UI? What do you mean the UI is important? I still think there's a lot to be learned from it. Like we're being told high quality controls for Iconic Arcade comparable with Act Games. I mean, that's one of the things we said. Just make them as good as Act Games. Like Act Games, Legends Ultimate, and Gamer Pro, their controls are great. They're perfect for this. So if somebody can at least do the quality of them in one of these home arcade cabinets, I think you're off to a winner there. But the more you get up in the price, the better quality controls we're going to expect. Keep that in mind, companies. Um, so for me, Iconic Arcade is going to be a buy. I mean, it's all up to you whether or not you want Street Fighter. We've seen so many Street Fighters. Like for me, it's a buy, but I will tell you what's going to be a definitive buy when it does come out again with the proviso of how much they charge for it is also going to be the Double Dragon uh, Iconic Arcade. Like if this thing is real, which we think it is, if it does come out, as long as they don't do anything stupid like add Street Fighter controls to it, like 6 buttons, so they make it a multicade, that's something I'm very excited about. As long as it's as original as possible, I'll give them so much credit too, because a lot of other companies wouldn't have had the guts to do the old Taito side panel art, even though it doesn't have the Taito. Just the fact you've got that accurate arcade art. So many people would have done something shitty, like take the NES box artwork and try to stick that on the side of the cabs. As long as they don't fuck up the cabinet with the artwork, what they've got done there, what Bobby Vu built for them is a masterpiece. So that would also be a big buy in my books. I'm foregoing electricity to buy an iconic arcade. Who needs it? I agree. Yeah, I'm actually with you on that, Jason. I don't give a shit about the UI, anything. You made a classic 80s cab that I've long wanted in my home. As long as it looks good on the outside and it plays well, sign me up. 100% agree. I don't even know what that is, MG. I have no clue what you're talking about. See, that's what concerns me. I'm not gonna lie, people, like, obviously, a game like Street Fighter and Street Fighter Alpha 2, they're fighting games, so they come with those really good control panels for multicades. What will be interesting to see is when they do something like a two-player cab. Another cab that was rumored through the rumors was Final Fight. And man, even though I can play Final Fight on, 3 different cabinets right now, I fucking love Final Fight. I love the game. I love the artwork. That's another cab I would consider buying just for the artwork and play the game. But does Final Fight only have 2 buttons like the original arcade OneUp? Because if you get into the extra buttons, which I think you might, so you could sell other Capcom games on that arcade, that's gonna fuck it up in my opinion. So that's gonna be very interesting in the future, how they do the control panels on the games. Say, for example, Double Dragon, which doesn't have a 6-button control panel, and Final Fight that doesn't have a 6-button control panel. Will they sacrifice accuracy for more of a multicade fit so they can sell more games on that cabinet? Or will they only sell 2-button games? Interesting. $2 super chat from Stringer Films. Who's Mason Conrad? You mean Mason Rudolph? You're gonna have to explain this to me. Well, Neo Severe, we kind of open that up like when talking about going from the golden age. We go 80s to like early 90s. So like anything up to about 93, 94, I would still include in that era. I know it's not exactly that era, but I would still include it. And see, this is the multi-cade approach. Give me something I can't play on a Raspberry Pi or Conops, something unique or very least full scale for the price they're asking these days. Don't disagree with you. We talked about this. One of the benefits of Star Wars Trilogy, it does have a unique control panel, so it's different from the other arcades you get. You get that, a flight stick, different arcade panel. That's something you can do. I'm not I'm not against you on this unacceptable fringe. One of the things we said for Arcade One Up too. That's one of the things that made Star Wars so special was you got that unique flight yoke. It's one of the things that made Tron so special. You got those unique Tron controls. So I 100% agree with you on that one. So, guys, now let's move over to basic fun. And I think you kind of know where I'm going with this on one. So, earlier today, RGT85 was in here and said, is WrestleFest still happening? We assume so. So, I have been very open about this. These might be fine for some, especially if you're a deluxe arcade person. So, they are going to be selling their Ultra lines at regular retail. The only one we know are coming to Canada right now is in fact regular retail ultra cabs for basic fun. So we think we don't know for sure, but we think that this year we're getting at least WrestleFest and Centipede and maybe Star Wars with Turtles coming later down the line. Pac-Man, we still don't have any time frame on. So here's where this is interesting. Will I buy any of the ultra cabs? And I'm going to tell you so far, no, even though I still have, 3/4 scale arcades down in my arcade, I would rather buy their more expensive Supreme cabs if they become available for WrestleFest. Even though I would save room, I don't like the downgrade of the no coin door, all the other features, not having the 4-player control deck, even though 4 people will never play this thing at the same time. I don't like the Ultra cabs. I'm just gonna be straight up honest with you about that. For me, I think it's cool that they got new licenses. I'm totally fine with anybody else buying them. They don't seem to be slims like Arcade One Up. But if you compare them from a price perspective, compared to what Arcade One Up did with the deluxe line, they're definitely a downgrade. So for me, I'm really struggling with it. Maybe if they do a Star Wars and it looks good, like right now we're being told it's Return of the Jedi, which is a very different looking arcade. So if they're going to keep the accurate arcade shape for Return of the Jedi, I might be interested. But if it's just Return of the Jedi, horrible Return of the Jedi art pasted on the shape of the original Star Wars arcade, I'm not going to buy that. But if it's somewhat accurate to Return of the Jedi, or they do an accurate Star Wars, even in the Ultra line, I would consider that because hey, we've never got a deluxe Arcade One Up. So, yeah. Sorry, Dean Bramage. I did add ads to the show every 30 minutes. So you should only get them every 30 minutes. I did ask for you to get extra ads, though. So I'm glad you're getting a bunch because I wanted you to get as many as possible. Everybody else should only get them once every 30 minutes. So that's kind of how I feel on the Ultra line. For me, these are really downgrades compared to what Arcade One Up already do with their deluxe line at the price point. You think about it, we're not getting Wi-Fi, we're not getting coin doors, but there's some benefits. You're getting WrestleFest, which we've never had before, and you're also getting Star Wars. So you can decide for yourself. I think I'm out on the Ultra line. Maybe I'll change my mind when I see them, but I'm really hoping the Supreme line is available here in Canada because what is a buy for me is the Supreme line WrestleFest. That's 100% going to happen. No matter what, I'm getting WrestleFest. If Star Wars is good and it's available, 100%, I'm getting a Star Wars Supreme. That's a no brainer. If there was a Star Wars XL from Arcade One Up, I would get that too. And before I go, even if this goes over a little bit, even though I don't have a third cup, I'm going to give you a little nugget for your brain that I would never make a full video on, but I will throw it out there. So all their Supreme line, WrestleFest and Star Wars, I would definitely call those buys. But here's where it gets interesting. I don't know how I feel about their Ultra Centipede. I've said I wanted an XL Centipede, but my problem with Centipede is these companies refuse to put a vertical screen in it. So we know it's going to be a horizontal screen. So there's the trade off. I do get a bigger screen, a bigger horizontal screen. So the vertical will look bigger on it. Not exactly as big as it should be. I'll never get what I want again. So it depends on what the artwork looks like. I obviously don't like the artwork for the Ultra Cab. It's got the big Atari logo up top and then the Centipede logo down below. I haven't seen the same pictures that James hates everything has seen. He says that the Supreme Cabinet Centipede is more accurate to the original arcade. So I'm undecided on the Supreme Centipede. It's something I absolutely want. I know my wife greatly misses Centipede. Where I struggle with that one is the fact it doesn't have a vertical monitor because, of course, they're trying to pack as many games on it as possible. So you get that 80/20 rule. So I don't know about that one. There you go. Look at this guy. He doesn't give a shit what it looks like. Just paint them black. That's all that matters. They don't even need side art. Then we get into Arcade One Up. Obviously, Terminator 2. I already have a Terminator 2, so I'm not going to pick that up. Big Buck Hunter, Mossy Oak, that's not for me. I have Pac-Man XL. I'm probably not going to get what is it, Pac-Man Plus Neon. So I don't think there's anything coming out from Arcade One Up this year other than the claw machine, which I showed earlier, which isn't new to you, but it's new to me that I'm interested in getting. So Arcade One Up may be out of the equation. And then when it comes to Unico, there's a lot of stuff we don't know about Unico, about whether or not their stuff's going to be licensed coming up. They never gave a clear answer. There's rumors out there. You can go back and forth on that. But where we are officially with that is Unico right now is saying they're going to have homage cabs that are going to be around $1,200 that may or may not have licensing. Now, for me, if these have licensing and like it's a big red, a big blue, it's no brainer. I mean, if they're multicades, go get the Unico cabs. I think that's great, especially if they're going to have like awesome controls, that 26-inch monitor. I will support every single one of you in going to get it. Of course, caution yourself on reviews on how Unico's shipping and stuff went with the Nova Blast before making your pre-order. But for me, it's probably going to be a pass. And this is not based on, how the Nova Blast went, not based on the pricing. They pretty much just stopped selling to Canada. So even if it does come out, I don't know if it'll be available here. It might have to do with the retaliatory tariffs that Canada put in place. But there is positive news on that front as well. And Glenn, if somewhere out there you're still listening, good news about that is Canada has taken away the retaliatory tariffs. So Stern Pinball, talk to Costco, take that fucking tariff off your Star Wars home pin. The tariffs no longer exist. They're gone as of September. Prices can go back to normal. And maybe Glenn and companies like Unico can start shipping here again. King Kong Pro is legit. I'm thinking, what? The Pro is better than the Premium? May have to look into that. Devastator, they are still selling them directly through their website. They have just axed them here in Canada, which I'm guessing has to do with the tariff stuff. So there you go. No, I have never had English tea. My wife, my wife, she drinks double Bergmont Earl Grey tea. I don't know. Lara, have you ever had English tea? English breakfast. Does that count, MG? She's had English breakfast. I'm not a tea man myself. I just drink normal orange pico and then a little bit of milk and sugar in it. I already bought a pinball machine this year. I don't think my marriage can stand me getting another pinball machine. There you go. No, I didn't call my wife an English accent. She's in the bath. So I was trying to communicate with her as best I could. Man, I would kill for an Evil Dead, and I have such wicked FOMO now because I watched a stream there the other day. This is for you pinball fans. So I watched a stream there the other day, and they were talking about Spooky Pinball's next release. And Bug was there from Spooky, and someone else was sitting next to him. And they said their next release is so good, it's going to sell out in one day. And immediately my brain goes to Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th. Like, it's got to be one of those. If it's not, I don't really give a shit. They can sell out in one day. I don't really care. Yeah, that's the only two impressions I can do. There is a funny Paul McCartney Newfoundland story. My favorite Paul McCartney story, MG, is him talking about Michael Jackson because they used to be best friends. And he was explaining to him how Paul McCartney said licensing is how you make all your money. It's how Shaq actually makes all his money right now. Shaq actually owns the rights to Elvis, apparently. Who would have known? But anyways, Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson were talking, and Michael Jackson looked at Paul McCartney, and then Paul McCartney, in Paul McCartney's voice, did a Michael Jackson accent, and I still laugh to it this day. If you can ever find the video, it's amazing. Paul McCartney doing Michael Jackson goes, "I'm gonna buy your songs." Fucking thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Michael Jackson actually bought all the Beatles music out from under Paul McCartney, who was pissed, ruined their friendship. So yeah, Shaq gets dividends from PD7, guys. Watch out. So the other Paul McCartney thing that's funny is a couple of years ago, Pamela Anderson, Paul McCartney, and a bunch of other celebrities were doing this crazy thing with Newfoundland, and they were like, "We got to end the seal hunt. Like, it's so vicious. They're clubbing baby seals," and it's an example of like this wokeness that's super inappropriate. That doesn't actually do any research into what's being done. It's just internet research and fake what is it? Fake outrage. I guess that'd be the best way to say it. So Paul McCartney came to Newfoundland and had an interview with our premier at the time, who was Danny Williams, and he said, "I'm here in Newfoundland to stop the seal hunt." And Danny Williams said, "Let's have a meeting, sit down, and we'll meet right now." And Paul McCartney was like, "Danny, what do you mean come here? I'm here right now." And he was like, "No, you're not. You're in Nova Scotia." Idiot went to Nova Scotia, thought it was still Newfoundland. "I'm here right now, Danny." Speaking of outrage and stuff like that, I did want to mention really quickly before we clue up here two things. I got a little bit of a tease for you, a little bit of a rumor about Arcade One Up and maybe them doing something really cool. I think it's an outside chance, but I just did find it interesting. So I'll talk to you about that. But something I want to show you, obviously, we here at Michael B. the Game Genie try to do our best to listen to the community and do something that's inclusive to everybody. So because of that, I thought that it would be about time that I updated my logo and did something more reminiscent with the times we live in and the people we represent. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is something usually I would lock this behind some kind of super chat goal, something like that. But we here at Michael B. the Game Genie are rebranding. I do want to introduce my new logo. There it is. You can see it on screen up in the top corner. This is the new logo for Michael B. the Game Genie going forward. No longer are you going to get that flash video game thing that my friend John put together for me. Just this logo that we feel, doesn't offend anybody. It's nice, simple, clean. I think you guys are really going to dig it. There you go. Michael B. the Game Genie, a show for everybody. What do you mean, wow, Mike? How's it wow? You tell me. So, anyways, guys, very quickly before I leave, I do want to bring this up. This is something I found really interesting. It's probably absolutely your audio is going to shit. No, I don't think people are getting the joke. It's possible they probably haven't been following all this shit. 3 ad agencies came up with that. Yeah, that's the sad thing. I mean, jeez, that's what she said. Good point, Mike. I might get taken down like Glenn yet. Obviously, this is a joke, guys. It's not actually going to stay up. This Cracker Barrel nonsense has gone wild. I read an article earlier today where they actually addressed the outrage towards the logo change and stuff, and they said, "We've heard you. We appreciate your feedback. Thank you so much for caring so much about Cracker Barrel. However, we're not going to do anything about the outrage. We're just going to move forward. And you need to know that despite all the other crap we're doing, it makes you feel uncomfortable about coming here. The food will always be the same. So please keep coming here because we'll be here for generations and generations to come, and your grandkids will be here." And it was the most bizarre message I've ever seen from a company. We know you don't like it, but fuck you, we're going to do it anyways. Oh, is it really? Maybe I messed up my mic there. Hold on. Yeah, I agree, Neo Severa. Anyways, really quickly, I know my audio is skipping out, so I don't want to screw up too much, but just give me one quick second here. I did want to bring this up. If you guys have been following the Facebook pages, something really interesting with Arcade One Up happened. So let me see if I can bring this up for you, and hopefully my audio doesn't keep skimming out. It's fake outrage by grifters online. I stand to gain no money or anything from my outrage about Cracker Barrel. I don't get it. I don't get what you as a company don't understand about your brand. It's that logo. It's about old fashioned. It's about walking back into a place that's out of time that makes Cracker Barrel so special. So by taking away, the look of the store, repainting it white like something you saw on Fixer Upper, and then changing the logo to something so generic and so future forward. I don't give a shit. I don't think it's woke at all. I just think it's really stupid. $2 super chat stringer films. So basically, like Scott Backrack talking to Zohar. It's exactly like that. 100%. Anyways, I'm going to see if I can find this for you. But if you've been following along, if you guys have been following along, you might have seen a post about all of a sudden Arcade One Up have reissued Star Wars Duels. Now, this is not something I make a full video on because obviously it's kind of craziness. But let me see if I can find this for you on the original Arcade One Up fan page and show you. So, someone noticed out of nowhere, Arcade One Up actually their uh, restocked their Star Wars tools, and they were like, "These have been out of stock for several years now. This is great. I'm finally going to order one." But here's the crazy thing: when the stool came in, it was a brand new Star Wars stool. It was actually a redesigned Star Wars stool. Wasn't the original arcade one up stool. It's slightly changed. So I think I got kicked out of the group. Glenn, did you kick me out? There it is. Son of a bitch. Now, let's see if I can find this, or maybe I won't be able to. Please, everybody, stop sending me messages. I appreciate what you're going through, but I don't want to see your message right now. See if I can find it this way. Give me 1 second. Yeah, there's pictures of it. There's a brand new Star Wars stool from Arcade One Up. So I'm just seeing if I can find it here. If I can't, I'm a dummy. I don't know what happened to it. All right, I can't find the picture, so I can't show it. The audio is as bad as Glenn's. Let's try this. All right, guys, how about now? Does that sound better? Please, dear God, tell me it sounds better. I'm waiting. So, anyways, I'll get back into this. I can't find the picture right now. It's a shame. I didn't have it lined up. I thought about making a video on it, but it's too much speculation. So, this person saw the arcade one up stool show up available to purchase again, purchased it, and it's actually a redesign of the Star Wars stool. So, it's a brand new design. Now, this could be just arcade one up having the licensing ability to make a new stool for Star Wars and getting their money's worth of it. So, keep that in mind. This might be nothing other than Arcade One Up trying to make some money off the Star Wars brand because they had it in their contract they could do it and release some new stools. but but I do want to just put it out there that this does create just the tiniest possibility, the slightest possibility that if they're doing a new stool and it's already available, this could be a precursor to the future and maybe we're getting a new Star Wars cab from Arcade One Up. Now, in Arcade One Up, thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. I've been thinking about doing that for a long time. Just haven't spent the money yet. I already this year bought DJI mics for doing videos. I bought this mic and I bought a new camera. So I'm kind of tapped out on how much I'm going to put into the channel. I already dropped like $4,000 on the channel. So yeah, I will look into getting the XLR interface though, all the same. So, anyways, they did release a new stool. The weird and zany idea about this is maybe they're doing it because Basic Fun are releasing a Star Wars cab, and they're like, "Fuck it, people need stools, right? Maybe they'll buy the Basic Fun, and we can make some money off the stool." That's an option too, but obviously, there's always going to be that thought process in your head. If they're making a new Arcade One Up Star Wars stool, then surely we're going to make some kind of new cabinet, whether that is a deluxe, whether that is just a um, smaller version of it, like a countercade, or is it possible we'll finally get that Star Wars XL cab? I don't know. It might just be a stool, but I did want to bring that up to you and just kind of ask your opinion. Throw a one in the chat if you think it's possible that this stool could be an indication that Arcade One Up is going to make another Star Wars cab in the very near future. Dear God, Striker Cage, nobody wants a Star Wars Slim Katie. I agree with that. Hopefully, dear God, it's not that. If you think it's nothing, throw up a zero. I won't be offended. And thank you so much, B. Kirby. You've already given me like 3 super chats, 4 super chats already gifted 10 memberships, 20 more. You are awesome, man. Thank you so very much. See a lot of zeros. This is why I didn't want to make a video on it. It's just a weird move by Arcane One Up if they're not going to make a cabinet. Again, maybe it's just them trying to make a little bit of money because they have the Star Wars license. They can make a stool, or maybe it's banking on them. They're saying, "Well, Basic Fun's making a cab. We can make a stool to go with it." So anyways, what I will say about that is keep an eye in the very near future. As soon as I can find a picture of the school, I'll try to share it on all my social medias, give you guys a look at it. You can kind of see the new design, what it looks like. I'll share it on my Discord as well, and we'll keep the conversation up. Yeah, Justin, that's kind of what I had an idea too. Theory: use the license or lose it. Actually, that's a really good point. I'm gonna see if I can find that stool. Just 1 second. Maybe I can find it somewhere else instead of the OneUp page. But it still looks like on the hold on. Maybe it's in the other arcade OneUp page. The official. Yeah, so this is the post. This is the post. So here it is here. Star Wars stool finally in stock after 2+ years. Wonder if this means a new Star Wars cab is incoming. So I didn't think anything of it when I saw this. Now I'll take this down and I'll see if I can find his other post where he actually shows off what he got in. Or maybe he put it somewhere else. Let me see if I can find it. Mike McCabe, the guy's name was. He must have put it in another group because I saw the picture of the stool and it is slightly different, but that was his post. MG says he sent me a picture of the stool. It is definitely just of his stool. Yeah, it's poo. He sent me a picture of poo. And he sent me a picture of poo. Anyways, guys, hour and 41 minutes. Not only did you get the second cup, I gave you 11 extra minutes and a little bit of a rumor to kind of get you excited, let it whirl around in your head. Everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight on an extra long episode of Chill and Chat. You guys are the best. Thank you again for all the support. Quitting smoking's coming. This is what my voice will sound like. Hopefully, no more of this dry throat as we go through the show. Everybody, enjoy the rest of your day. This is Michael B. the Game Genie. I'll talk to you next time. Good night, everybody.